Ladies and gentlemen, are you Shimoneing? Then we'll begin.
Oh boy.
Wait, is that the actual intro?
I don't fucking know. We'll find out, right? We'll find out in the future. In the far future, the far space future, where Michael Jackson's a space pirate. Joe, you picked this. What the fuck is it?
We're going in.
This is from, I think, 1984, when Michael Eisner took over at Disney. And he was like, uh-oh, Disney's a bit boring. It's for kids. Let's make stuff for teenagers. Because his own teenager was like, oh, Dad, Disney's a bit boring. It's for kids. Basically, this is a short film that it was a 3D short film that they played in the Disney parks. Yeah, so the version we watched is obviously the 2D version. But when you went to watch it in the parks, it was in 2D. Because it was the second ever film. 3D, yeah, it was in 3D. It was the second ever film made with a camera that the Disney company invented.
Amelia, you've seen this legit. You were telling me in the Disney park, in a Disney park. Wait, was it like 3D? Well, I've read that it's 4D. Like, what was your experience?
Well, this is the thing. I've seen this, but this is like back in like 2004 in Disneyland Paris, when Disneyland Paris looked like an absolute shithole. And
this is one of the opening attractions at Disney, at Euro Disney.
And I remember my mum and dad being like, oh God, I really don't want to go and see this. But it was a chance it was probably raining, let's be honest. And it was one of those attractions where it's like, right, 20 minutes inside. Yeah, we'll kill some time. I don't remember a single bit of it. I just remember for ages going to Disneyland, and it was in the bottom corner of Space Tomorrowland, Discoveryland, I think it is in Paris. And it was just an abandoned looking building. Like, they really let this attraction go. Like, so to me, when I think of Captain EO, I just think of a disheveled building in the corner of the park. And so I don't remember it. I just don't. It's just, I've seen it, but I just don't. I think my brain's deciding to just, pretend it didn't happen.
I never went to watch it, but I remember it being there. I remember, like, the logo, and I always thought the poster was kind of cool. It gave me Star Wars vibes, which we now know is the point. This whole thing
gave me Star Wars vibes.
That's because it was written by our man George Lucas, which is baffling. See, cause that's the really weird thing, because the reason George Lucas is involved is because at the time, Michael Eisner was like, "Ayo, come make some Star Wars stuff for the park," because Jedi had just come out, and George was like, "All right, sick, I will do. Don't worry about it, son." And then he started developing Star Tours.
Yeah.
But then he was like, "Oh, look at this other thing with Michael Jackson."
The thing is, though, right? I understand, like, especially from that perspective of, like, you're developing Star Tours, and, like, I get if you're Disney, and I get wanting to do something with Michael Jackson, but why is it just a short film? Either make a ride or make a full film. What's this weird half commitment?
I don't know.
Well, that's what they do for, like, 4D films, isn't it? It's not like, because you don't go on a ride for an hour, do you? It's not like an alternative to a ride. Like, you go in for like 20 minutes max. Well, roller coasters aren't that long. And because it's all, like, seats moving, well, I don't know how, like, advanced they were in the 80s. But I've only ever been to, like, one 4D experience, and it was at Legoland, I'm pretty sure. And, like, they threw, like, snow at you and blew your
face. They threw Lego
that's kind
at
of what
you.
It was like.
That would hurt. So yeah, I'm like, I kind of get why it's as long as it is, but it's still just fucking weird, isn't it?
Captain EO, you are late reporting in. Are you having a problem finding our landing beacon?
I know the one thing that, like, Michael Jackson said that he was only going to agree to do this if either George Lucas or Steven Spielberg was involved, so... So, you know.
It's not a big demand, is it?
So the story that George graced us with, then, how the fuck, what's the story of this? This is such a fucking hard one to boil down. Like,
what was the whole, is he a pirate, or is he just working for, like,
I think
star port.
I think it's a Star Trek-esque
Starfleet
thing, but
Yeah.
they go to like planets and fix them, I guess. Maybe it's like a
Gifts
Well, okay,
of
alright,
music.
okay then. So
It's like-
what they do in the movie is they go to this entirely mechanoid planet with machine life forms and a machine-based ecosystem, and they totally fuck it up. Like suddenly there's like organic life forms just like everywhere, probably panicked about being brought into existence. And if it's only
And then
if it's only the people, we don't know if these new humanoid-based life forms can consume even the plant life that's around. It might be like highly poisonous to them. So theoretically, the pool teacher from Community sends Michael Jackson from planet to planet to fuck up all of the ecosystem.
He is the bringer of
Yeah.
death.
Yeah. Also, that like supreme leader, she looked a lot like the alien queen from Aliens.
Yes.
I was getting there's so much just we're making a sci-fi thing with Michael Jackson. Quick, just get all those other
It did
sci-fi
feel-
tropes
yeah.
and bung them in this.
It did feel like they'd taken a lot of people. So like the bit where they do the trench run, which they literally just do the trench. They just put some stuff over the head, just so it doesn't quite look like it. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the bit where they take them in front of the Supreme Leader, the people who she brings, like her minions or whatever, they look a lot like those guys from Star Trek, those cyborg hive mind people.
The Borg.
The Borg,
yeah.
yeah. They look a lot like them.
Professor Monster from Spider-Man, I think
So-
you'll find. That's what they really look like.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Jackson's got a weird crew, and the whole prospect is he goes to a, if we'll take it seriously from the movies on fiction. He goes to planets with ugly people, and then says, "I'll make you beautiful."
You think me beautiful?
Very beautiful within, Your Highness, but without a key to unlock it. And that is my gift to you.
And they, even though their entire planet looks this way, have a basic Earth concept of what beauty is, and they desperately seek it. And he uses music to make them Earth beautiful.
Let me see this gift.
Not only see, Your Highness, but hear.
Is that a good story?
See,
I'm gonna go with
originally, this wasn't even going to be like a sci-fi originally. When it was originally pitched, it was going to be some like fantasy thing where Michael Jackson plays a Peter Pan-esque character, and he like brings
Right.
light to like a dark forest or something, because
Based
the
on
dark
all
forest
the
like
recent stuff about Michael Jackson, having him be a Peter Pan type who takes children off to a mysterious land. That's probably. I'm glad they went with this angle instead.
Have you seen
the reason.
Sorry, go on, Joe.
It was. I just gonna say the reason he goes into the dark forest is because some of the gremlins or something kidnap his furries. So he has to go into the dark forest to like get them back, and then he dances and he gives the light. But the only reason they didn't, and everyone loved that idea, they were gonna do that, but the only reason they decided they couldn't was because they'd already started building the theatre in Tomorrowland, and it wouldn't fit the aesthetic of like where it was. It would be better for Fantasyland, but they're like, I already spent the money on it, so make it space.
So they started building the theatre before they'd fully decided what the story was.
Apparently, yeah.
How much are you
Not
going to put
clever,
in
is
a
it?
theatre for it to affect what it is you're watching?
I have no idea. The
Maybe
thing,
someone
right?
just put lasers in, and they're like, "Well, we can't have it be in a forest now. We've just like put some lasers up above the screen. It's gonna have to be sci-fi. There's nothing else we can do." for
The
that."
fucking Imagineers have gone rogue and they've affected
Yeah.
the
See-
entire like.
Think they could have easily just kept the story, but just having it doesn't have to be fancy. It could just be bloody coming down to a planet and then just instantly make it him not terraforming a new planet into something into like ancient Greece or something. Is what it becomes. It's so weird. So weird.
Have you seen the comment? Because this is available on YouTube. The video you sent us, Joe. Have you seen the comment section?
I have not.
I've got it up.
It's loads of people being like, "Oh, when I was a child, I used to love his smile so much. Oh, Michael Jackson's smile. Oh, when I was younger, I loved his smile. And I'm sure when you were younger, he would have loved your smile too."
Oh my god, yeah, I fell in love with his smile when I was a child in Disneyland, not Prince Charming. Yeah. He's not only the king of pop, he's a perfect dancer and an amazing human being. Love you, Mike. Mike!
My good mate, Mike.
I didn't know he was an actor too, Hart. So versatile, all-in-one entertainer.
Clearly, they've never seen Men in Black 2.
I can be Agent M.
Okay, I'm gonna say the story is worth at least -5 points because it's non-existent, doesn't make any sense on any level.
Out of
Objections? Out of 10, -5.
Before we carry on, can I just really quickly, I've just seen this comment and I feel like I have to say it. Right, so this is all in caps, and if it's an emoji, I'm going to say what emoji it is. R.I.P.
You have to do an impression of the emoji.
I don't know how I'm going to do half of them, but... Okay, R.I.P. to my hero, Michael Joseph Joe Jackson, August 29th, 1958 to June 25th, 2009, close brackets. You'll be missed from the heavens to all of us, buddy. I will always love you, man. ... So very much. ... From the bottom of my heart. Smiley, sad, peace, loads of love hearts, rainbow, microphone, like the little twirly thing that starts at the beginning of sheet music, note, flower, world, and then like 5 stars.
Nice.
Why is my guy doing like what's it, an obituary on YouTube?
That's what obituaries of the future are gonna look like.
Oh God, I hope not.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, oh, I remember the day I first met my my lovely wife Doris. I was so like eggplant emoji, and she was really like wet peach emoji. So the story's weird, right? You mentioned the villains looking like the alien queen, the supreme leader. So, God, could you imagine if Snoke could have just turned out to be this chick, and the Captain EO was like canonized as being?
Really quick, did Joe mention who the actress was?
I didn't, but it's thingy, isn't it? What's her name?
Angelica Houston.
Yeah.
Morticia in the new Addams Family.
Shit! Thought I recognised her.
Isn't she still married? Is she married to Jack Nicholson still? She used
no, they were definitely together, but I don't think they are now.
Yeah. Did you know, actually though, she wasn't who was originally gonna be cast in the role. Originally, it was gonna be Shelley Duvall from The Shining, but she decided not to do it because she knew that she'd have to spend most of her days in like prosthetics and stuff. She was like,
most of her days. How long did this take to make?
I have no idea, but right, I was shocked by the budget of this film. This is a 20-minute film.
I actually think it'd be quite high. I actually was quite impressed with some of this stuff, to be honest.
Well, yeah, fair enough, but it's a 20-minute film. There's no way this film should have cost $23 million to make. Like, what the fuck?
I guess that was probably just Michael Jackson's fee, wasn't it?
But like, that's just the thing. You know, that's just the film. That doesn't include building all the studios and all the marketing and everything.
Yeah, of course.
Do you reckon this is all because Michael Jackson wanted every single high-profile bloody producer in like America to join in? I saw something on it earlier. Yeah, written by George Lucas, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Then someone else was there, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, they didn't have to get every name in Hollywood at the time.
Yeah.
Well,
Those thingy.
It's amazing though, right? Like,
you really didn't need to, did you?
Just to say that like so casually, I think takes away from the weight that Francis Ford fucking Coppola of the Godfather fame, of Apocalypse Now fame, made.
Isn't it?
That's mental. That's mental. And I
Is
wish
that on-
I,
is this
I
on his
wish I'd have known
IMDb?
this. I wish I'd have known
It's gotta
this
be.
when I fucking went to film school, and you have fucking half the fucking film buffs wanting to take a fucking lord right in the mouth from Francis Ford fucking Coppola. Look at this fucking weird Michael Jackson puppet nonsense show.
You say this was the second 3D film that Disney made. Like, so how
Yes.
like have there been many 3D films before this, or was this like the second one ever?
So I don't know in general. I know that the one they made before this, I can't remember what it was called. It was called like A Life's Journey or something like that. And it was literally just, it was just like footage of like people traveling the world and stuff like that. But the whole thing is that they invented a brand new camera to do it. So you know when you see 3D, it's got the two images side by side. They like combined two cameras to do that, and they basically invented a 3D camera. And that life of the journey of life or whatever was well, that was the being like, look what we invented, this is what we can do with it. And then this film was like an actual narrative driven kind of like actual film that they made.
Do you know what was quite interesting though? It might have just been because we were viewing the 2D version, but if this was like your second 3D film ever or whatever, there was an amazing amount of restraint not to just constantly throw things in the frame.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
There's the film. I've never gone to see many films in the cinema that were like made as 3D. Avatar, I did, but that doesn't really do it. The only other one I can think of is Spy Kids 3D.
Oh, I hate those films. They stress me out.
Spy Kids 3D.
I recently
What a
rewatched
movie.
that one in 2D.
Why?
The amount. It was one of those days, right? It's lockdown. What else are you supposed to do? And the amount of just shit you get thrown straight towards the camera is, it's horrific. But there's like none in this. There's barely any lasers or
Like your
bits
supreme
or
leader would have
hands
looked
or...
really cool when she descends,
that's
but
true.
that's like it. But well, okay. On the topic of her, we'll just quickly do it. Like, you said it looked like the Alien Queen, and she does. And she also kind of looks like the villain from Star Trek Nemesis. But she does look quite cool. Unimaginative, but I think it's decent.
Yeah.
I want to actually award points for this.
Positive points, like above 0.
I'm going to say 5 points.
Wow. That's pretty generous.
Yeah.
I like the whole production design. None of it's original, but it's done well. You know what I mean? Whoever they were doing it, it was done well enough that it, it looks good. I get where all the money went to. Well, where all the money went to. So
The set, the brunt of it takes place at the end, it is pretty decent.
When are we going to talk about all his bloody alien friends?
Let's do it now. Let's do mates.
So I've got a list of what all of them are.
Okay, well, before you go for that list, I want to ask you, do you know all their names? Because I fucking don't. I know one of their names. I know
Trumpy or something.
Hooter. I know Hooter because he wouldn't
Hooter.
fucking stop saying it.
Hooter.
But I don't know. There's what? So there's. Go on, Jacob. Take us through the mates.
I haven't got the list. I was
Oh, I
asking
thought
if
you
anyone
said-
else did.
Oh right. Well, so, okay. So from memory then, there's 2 birds, or is it 1 bird with 2 heads?
It's like a conjoined
one bird with 2
thing.
heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't one of them called Lobot or something?
Lobot? I don't think so.
Lobot.
Well, the robot. So he's got 1 bird. He's got 2 birds, or he's got 1 bird with 2 heads, or he's got 2 birds with 1 body. He's got the robot from like the Doom Patrol, basically, and
You got a flying Furby.
he has got right. Okay, now that was a layer of bizarreness that I wasn't ready for, because when it's flying around and it sort of flies towards the camera and then it goes away, I was like, okay, this was for 3D. It looks bad, but it probably looks all right. The end of the movie where it waves at me, I'm not interested. Don't acknowledge me. I'm not a part of your fucking weird dance universe. I'm not a fan. It did look quite cute on his shoulder. And Hooter, who's always just trying to do his best, but Michael Jackson is consistently abusing him throughout the entire...
He's fucking useless, though. He's terrible at his job. Just what?
See-
What? Why isn't he dead yet?
I like to think that the canon here is that he was originally aboard Captain EO's ship, right? And he got abused so much that he went and became that fucking blue elephant in Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. that also plays the piano. Because let's be honest, it's the same thing repainted. That's all it is. It has to
They
be.
look really similar.
Well,
Like,
I feel like there were more things to his crew, weren't there? More than just that.
there was the big robot, and there was the
could
little
become a
robot, but
drum
the little
set.
robot fits in the back of the...
I've got the
Oh,
names
big
if you
robot.
want the
we've got
names.
names.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
Amelia,
please.
give us names.
So we've got Captain EO, Husa. Fuzzball is that little gremlins looking thing.
Christ.
Major Domo and Minor Domo are the.
Oh, that's what I was
like-
thinking. I knew they had...
And
I
then
knew
I
the
think
minor
the
domo
two-headed
was the
thing.
small one.
Yeah, I think that two-headed bird thing. It's the GEEX. Geeks. Geeks. No clue. But
Do you know what the name of his commander is with the fucking mad eyebrows that simply will not quit?
it does not
Oh,
coming
yeah?
up on this.
Oh man.
Oh, I can't remember what he
I
said.
thought
He
that
called-
was a villain at the start. Like I thought,
Hologram.
yeah, because he threw.
He was really like.
There was the gag where Michael Jackson throws like splooge on him, and then it drips slowly down his face, despite him being a hologram.
He's a hologram.
Amazing. Okay,
So weird.
I know this is only like 20 minutes long or something, but I had to try and watch this like 3 times. I started it and I was like, no.
I've just found his name.
okay,
Oh,
So that giant head.
yep.
He's called Commander Bog.
Nice.
Bug, unlucky. It's Bug Boy, Bug Boy. I don't blame you, Jacob. Like, if you like, right, Amelia, I know you can't remember having watched this at Disney, right? Can you? Do you think you walked away from this happy? Like
I think I walked away very confused. Because I know for a fact, because my mom loves Michael Jackson's music, but I know for a fact she would have walked out of this just being like, the fuck did I just sit through for my like 5-year-old child? Like, because like it's just weird, and I'm really annoyed that I don't have any recollection of it. I'm tempted to text my dad now and say, do you have any recollection of going to see Captain EO in the like when we went to Disneyland?
Do it. I'm interested to see if he does. Well, okay, so the mates in general aren't very good, and they're just kind of there. They're just kind of there to be the band, right? I don't want to give them any more. I don't think it's fair to dock them because they're not intrusive, right? So I'm considering 0, but for trying his best, I want to give Hooter 200.
he is trying his best, isn't he?
He's trying his best.
Fucking useless.
But the man ate the bloody
It
star
annoys me
maps,
so much.
You know. He ate the fucking star maps. He can't.
Yeah, they were like, oh, where are the maps?
Like, important
I ate them.
documents.
You ate them?
Well, okay, 199. I'll dock him a point.
Oh boy. You know in that bit in Jurassic Park where they're all going round like the labs and stuff, and they get like strapped down into the seats, like how it's a ride. Remember that bit?
Yes.
Do you reckon they had that in the cinema so that people didn't walk out? They had like those bars that come down over the seats. Like, no,
Locked the doors
we've
so people
paid
couldn't
over
leave.
$20 million to watch this. You will stay and you will watch it. Why is his voice so high pitched as well? Like, I get that
Well, that's how he
his singing
speaks.
voice is like his like, yeah, fine. His talking voice, I'd forgotten that's what Michael Jackson sounds
He's
like.
really softly
isn't it?
spoken, isn't he?
That's one of the things they really didn't like about the film, and they were actually considering dubbing over him because, but they didn't do it because they thought it was going to piss him off. Because
You can imagine him giving
get?
a call like, "Oh my God, Disney, I can't believe it. You're gonna dub over me?" Just like, yeah, that's exactly why. Like,
Can you imagine
Who would
watching
you
this
voice?
movie and fucking like James Earl Jones' voice comes out?
Oh, yes. Even Morgan
God,
Freeman.
imagine James Earl Jones like shouting. What's the fucking elephant thing called again?
Hooter.
Hooter, yeah. That bit where he yells his name in the actual film. He's like Hooter, like that. But then, like, imagine James Earl Jones doing it. He'd be like, Hooter.
Hooter.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations.
Apparently, the original cut for this film was so bad that they didn't want to show the Disney executives because they were afraid of what they were going to see. And
why didn't they re-edit it then? Why is that the version that I just watched?
That's what I mean. That's why they didn't show them, because they were trying to they didn't show them so they could fix it before they had to show them. And like even George Lucas had to step in and put his own, like he had to use his own resources to try and fix it.
So what you're telling me is Francis Ford Coppola and George Lucas combined could not make a good Michael Jackson movie.
Apparently not.
That's incredible.
If this was just a music video, I think it would be fine.
That's what
everyone
called it.
Backstory and all of the. This was shown in cinemas as an experience, as a ride. No,
but then it wouldn't even be like the most memorable Michael Jackson music video. Like not even close. Because that's my next point. Discounting the one from the credits because you just hear it. The song they sing, it's shit.
Yeah.
I can't even remember it.
The only thing I can remember about the song is that the beat sounds kind of like a knockoff version of, you know, the bit in Thriller where Vincent Price is talking over it and it's just like bom 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 bom. It's like that, right? And then he goes, "We're here to change the world." That's the song for like 5 minutes. He didn't write this, right?
He did not. You know who did write it though?
Go on.
The guy who later wrote the score for Titanic.
Oh my god.
How?
That's who wrote it.
How is
That's
this
what I'm saying.
so bad?
They got so many. I'm pretty sure the guy who choreographed it was the guy who choreographed. Was it Flashdance? Is that the name of the film? The one from the 80s, that really like famous
What?
musical.
The one about the like metal steelworks or something.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was. It's the same guy choreographed that. And I know the guy who did the costumes was the guy who did not the new Cats film, but Cats the musical in the 80s. He did the costumes for that. They got so many like mad people to like work on this film. It's ridiculous.
How is this so bad?
Right, so for the song score, what I've decided to do, because the song is bad.
The whiteboard's out.
The song is bad. This is a great joke already. I decided to check how many tracks are on the album. Bad. Of which there's 18, and I'm docking at 18 points. One for every track on the album.
Yeah.
What did we make of the dance? The weird, it kind of like a hacker, like a rugby kind of. Everyone just sort of does this and steps forward every now and again.
He's literally he's got 4 dance moves, hasn't he?
Yes.
Apparently, while they were watching one of the final things, they were uncomfortable with how many pelvic thrusts were in the actual thing. They didn't put any limit on how many he could do, so he goes, that's kind of why the bit where he does it, it makes like a weird like muffle, like a sound. You know, as he does it when he first...
That's a very good point. Because, like, one of the things that I found so awkward about this was when you watch like a Michael Jackson music video and they're doing all these dance moves. I don't even know if the mic's going to pick this up, but you don't typically hear like this, like clothes rubbing up against each other and footsteps. It's so it kind of just realigns how fucking empty the room is and how unenthusiastic everyone is.
I just don't understand how this got made or why it shouldn't have been.
Do you know how many pelvic thrusts are in the movie?
I googled it and it's not coming up for me. As soon as you said it, I was like, I've got to Google it. I gotta know.
How many's too many, do you reckon, for Disney?
I'm gonna... yeah, I was gonna say 1 would probably be too much.
Well, okay then. We'll say 1 point, because 1 is too many for Disney.
I'm not gonna lie. If you get caught doing pelvic thrusts in a Disney park, I can imagine they're gonna throw you out. If I'm honest.
Also, aren't they just called thrusts? Since when was it a pelvic thrust?
Well, you can
I don't know.
thrust your arm forward,
That's like a punch.
thrust your neck forward.
Well, I feel like if someone was to say, "Oh, they're doing a thrust," everyone knows what that is.
I guess so.
but pelvic thrust
the
is
only other
sexy,
thing that I
isn't
can
it?
think about this
Yeah, the
movie
word pelvic really like, whoa, yeah, wow.
is another thing that I think goes underutilized in this movie. And for the category name, I've just wrote it down as hee. Basically, I was surprised at how little of Michael Jackson's mannerisms were allowed to be in this Michael Jackson movie.
Shimoni.
Like, there wasn't one Shimone. There was a ow! There was a couple of those.
Really short moonwalk as well. I was disappointed by that.
Was there? I don't even remember the moonwalk.
There
It was
a
a
little
moon step.
moonwalk. Yeah.
Does
But
he?
if you're gonna do like a sci-fi thing with Michael Jackson, why not make a thing of him moonwalking? Right? You just make it.
Whoa,
Everyone
that's
could
a
be
good
doing
point.
it. But no, he just goes. I don't know. I'm just moving my finger across my view. It just anyway. It's thoroughly underwhelming.
Well, okay then. Before we do the hee score, I'm actually gonna do one more category, which I'm just calling "What the fuck," which is the simple fact of the matter that Disney. I need to formulate this thought. This is a big thought. Right. Disney theme parks have an incredible commitment to like theming, right? And imagination. Have you fucking seen Avatar Land? At Pandora, the world of Avatar. That shit's amazing. Do you know how many fucking people have been inspired to make anything out of Avatar? The one guy that's made the community forum and the 11 other people that actually fucking use it. That's it. That's the sheer amount of people that are inspired by Avatar. And you can buy fucking puppets and you can become a fucking avatar. And there's a fucking there's this seed pod that spurts oxygen into the air. There's like a canonical reason you can breathe in the theme park. They've thought about it so much and they got a chance to work with Michael fucking Jackson, Francis Ford fucking Coppola, and George fucking Lucas, three of the king of fucking pop, and it's so bland. It's just a film. It's so boring.
Oh,
how did this happen?
Imagine like a ride though with Michael Jackson. Imagine animatronic Michael Jackson though.
That's just a real Michael Jackson, isn't it?
That's
but-
just 2004 Michael Jackson's what that is.
I feel like, has anyone seen the Ellen animatronic that was in Ellen's ride?
It's terrifying. It's horrible. It
Yeah,
doesn't look
right.
like her and
I'll
it's
get
scary.
it up.
It's so
Need to see
scary. But
this.
imagine Michael Jackson as an animatronic. Imagine an animatronic just going like that, moving like that, and going hee hee, and then just thrusting.
It's so bad.
Fucking terrifying.
Like, I think she owns it now because the ride's closed down to make way for the Guardians of the Galaxy in Florida. And essentially, long story short, the only thing that this was about was you basically got taught how energy works with Bill Nye the Science Guy and Ellen. Because that's the 90s, bro. And like...
Didn't you like go through history and like dinosaurs and stuff with them?
Me and my brother went on it when we were last in Florida. And because we knew it was closing, so we were like, oh god, we'll go on it. And then we got off and we were like, yeah, we get why it's closing. But that's who you were greeted by.
Scary.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
It's so weird. Like fucking early 90s
Like-
Ellen. It's scary shit.
Yeah, there you go. That's...
I at least thought that when I found out this was a ride, an attraction, that like, if there's a queue on your way in, all of Michael Jackson's little alien mates would be there, little animatronics of all his little alien mates, and they'd sort of have a talk with the kids, and it'd be a good fun time. But I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand how this movie, why did this movie happen?
I think Disney are very good at panicking with this kind of thing because they bought the rights to the Muppets, didn't they?
Yes.
And the only ride the Muppets have got is a 4D film. That's it.
It's alright.
And like
I actually don't
they
mind
could
it.
have done
I
a
go watch it
ride
every
where
time.
you're going through like Manhattan or all of their films and like all this but like and the one thing that they did do really good about this Muppet ride really quickly is that you go into like this pre-foyer and I can't fully remember it, but either Gonzo or someone talks to you on a screen, but you know that really big Muppet with like he looks like a big shaggy Muppet with like a big ass nose, and he's basically just a person in a suit. He would come out and like wave at you and everyone would be like, oh shit, it's a Muppet, and then you go into the theatre and things happen around you. And like, they could have done so much more with the Muppets. They could have done so much more with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
They just don't.
I guess it's weird because like I know I just said Pandora's really creative what they've done with it, but that exists because Disney panicked because they lost the rights to they wanted Harry Potter, and Universal got
They
it.
actually passed up on Harry Potter.
So they were like, we need something that can compete with Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Just Avatar.
They chose people who have sex with their tails.
And their horses or something. They fuck their horses every time they want to ride them.
Well, this is the thing. Until you turn the corner and there's just a guy with his horse like going. It's weird, isn't it? It is weird. And we're getting like what, 6 more films?
Something stupid like that.
Something like that. Oh man. Okay, so for the hee category, I'm going to give it 2 to match the number of Michael Jacksonisms that are in the movie, and for what the fuck, I'll just give it the same amount of Avatar sequels there's going to be. So, so if we don't think there's anything else to cover, I'll do some maths and we'll work out what this movie's worth.
What else is there?
I did actually find the album that one of the songs was on. So, the song at the end, Part of Me, or Another Part of Me, is that what it was called? It was actually on Bad when that released, which was his next album after this. So...
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
It was actually...
Wait, so the song premiered at the end of this movie?
Yeah, so the song that he sings at the end of this movie was on the original version of Bad. Not like the deluxe edition or anything like that. The original one. If you just bought the Bad album in 1987, this song was on it. This was part of the track list. This is why I'd heard it before.
Wow.
It's mad, that, isn't it? The other one isn't. The one that the Cure the World with or whatever, that one's not on it, but the Another Part of Me is. Oh man, Michael Jackson, what a guy. Remember when he wanted to be Spider-Man? What a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, okay, so I've done some long form maths, and I have found out that Captain EO is 190 points out of 10. So if it had wanted to be Michael Jackson, apparently it would have been at least that good. Michael Jackson wouldn't have been Spider-Man. I don't fucking know what's going on anymore. Fucking Francis Ford fucking Coppola made a Muppet fucking Michael Jackson movie. I don't fucking know what plane of reality I'm fucking living on anymore. Fuck you, Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
I hope there's... I actually hope there's an alternate universe somewhere where this film became that universe's Star Wars. And that it had multiple sequels and an entire fan base dedicated to it.
And Star Wars alternatively had one 17-minute weird movie that didn't make any sense and kept getting shut down.
The only Star Wars film that exists in that universe is the holiday special. That's it.
I got
the
mad
only
holiday
thing from
special
Star Wars that
vibes
exists.
from this. It was very holiday special.
Yeah.
Just...
It's...
Joe, I have a quick question for you.
Very
When's your birthday again?
Uh-oh.
The 2nd of January, why?
Oh, you're going to have to wait a year. I could have bought you the old display model that was used in Disney in a shop window.
Ugh!
It's so ugly.
There was
Why did I think
merch
that
for this movie?
Oh, yeah. There's t-shirts.
Man, why did I think that was
It was in
Leonardo
a Disneyland,
DiCaprio when I first saw it?
Park, wasn't there's gonna be merch for it.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
There'll be a shop and everything, I bet.
That's
You know
this
what,
is the
right?
invitation that people got to come and see it.
Man. It's so 80s.
It's so 80s. I think that's why I find it good, because it's so 80s, but that's about it.
I feel like they could have made a whole film out of this almost, like a whole
Easily.
musical film.
And it wouldn't have been good, but
I mean,
like,
no.
They should have just leaned into it. Then saying that though, would you really want a full feature film of this being on Francis Ford Coppola's like IMDb page?
It's already there.
Yes.
So
I mean, I suppose it is, but you get a little thingy knowing that it's only like a 20. It just becomes considerably worse in my mind when I know that it's a feature film.
well, if you were to
short
stretch it
film.
out so it lasted like over an hour, all that concentrated
God.
shitness would be more diluted, so it wouldn't
I
feel as
suppose.
shit. It'd all be spread
I
out.
suppose. Oh God, imagine. Oof.
what could have been? What could have been?
I know.
Shame.
Oh man.
So why am I saying that? That's not a shame at all. I'm glad a full movie doesn't exist. This shouldn't.
It's one of those films that I kind of wish existed just so I could watch it and laugh. Kind of like the Nick Cage Superman film. Like, I want things like that to exist so I can watch them and laugh at them.
Yeah.
But
totally
it makes
agree.
me kind of sad that they don't exist, but at the same time I'm glad that the world's not been tainted by it. So, I'm kind of mixed feelings on it.
It's kind of ironic based on like its message of, make the world more beautiful or whatever. But no, it probably would do the opposite.
It's very 16th century English, going to like America and being like, oh, you're not like us. Let's change you so you are like us.
Holy shit!
That's what
Captain
it is.
EO's a fucking colonialist allegory. Holy shit!
Wow.
It's like,
It's got value now.
there you go, that's what it is.
Okay, I'll do the fucking outro YouTube stuff. That'll be good. If you enjoyed this, consider giving us a like and a subscribe, and let us know what you think of the video and the weird Michael Jackson thing in the comments down below. We also, if you want to check out our other stuff, have a podcast which normally runs every Monday, and we'll be back starting from next Monday, so that'll be fun. We're doing the Street Fighter movie. This is a good fucking time. And you can listen to our podcast as well by searching for it, the Outtakes Movie Podcast, in your favourite podcasting apps. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you around. Hee hee!
Come on,